I was organizing a housewarming party, and I went out of my way to set the date to take into account a friend who was traveling at the time. Shortly before the party, she sent me a message saying she'd changed her flights, she was going to a work event, and she wasn't going to come to my party. I was really upset about this, and the story I was telling myself was that she doesn't care about our relationship, I'm not important to her, her work event is more important than I am. And that hurt. It also wasn't true. What was true was that her boss had offered to pay for the change of flights. She was excited to see some work friends. And in the moment, she forgot about my party, made the change, and was committed to it. That still stung. It was still disappointing, but it didn't hurt as much as the fictional narrative that I created for myself. And that gap between reality and the stories that we tell ourselves is what I want to talk about today. If you found your way to my channel, then you'll know that I talk a lot about nonviolent communication, or NVC for short. And I wanted to make a series that's going to walk you through the different steps. There's 4, and this is going to be step 1. We're talking about observations. Now, observations are the facts of the matter. So before we can get to the part of feelings and needs where we're communicating what's going on for us, we want to make sure that we can really clearly see what the reality is. So think of an observation as what the camera captures. It's what was said, what was done, just the facts. The alternative that we have in NVC to an observation is what we call an evaluation. So if an observation is what the camera would capture, then an evaluation, think of it as a filter, a post-production that you could put over the film that you're making. Evaluations include things like opinions, assumptions, judgments, the stories that we tell ourselves. And they usually reflect our own context and insecurities more than anything else. Sometimes these filters, these evaluations, are just that. It's just a little beauty filter or just a slight tinge on the story that's going to kind of gloss things up a little bit. Sometimes, though, we're rewriting the script, we're scoring the soundtrack, we're casting a villain. And that's what happened in my situation. I had launched this whole film, my friend had a starring role, and she had no idea that there was even a movie happening. So how do you actually catch yourself doing this? Well, the tool that I like to use, I learned from Brené Brown. She's a researcher and author. If you haven't read her stuff, I strongly recommend you go and do so. She likes to say, the story that I'm telling myself is. This is a fantastic strategy because if you use this, you can talk to someone directly. If I say to you, the story I'm telling myself is, that's not accusatory. That's giving you space to explain what's actually going on. It's allowing me to acknowledge that perhaps I'm not connected with reality, and it's giving me space to create that reality check. So what happened with my friend? Well, I didn't get it completely right. I forgot to use Brené in my moment of need. I led with my feelings. I told her I was upset that she had chosen this party over my party. And so you see the evaluations baked in there to that message, right? Fortunately, she had the good grace to apologize for having made that mistake of the calendar clash and offered me an explanation if I was willing to hear it. It wasn't given in a defensive way. It was given as an offering, as a gift. Would you like to hear what's going on for me? And I accepted. I heard her explanation and I realized, oh, I made up this whole story. That was like not the case at all. So that gave me an opportunity to reflect upon my own stuff, right? That I had created this story, that wasn't true. I apologized to her. Actually, we came to a really beautiful place where through that conflict, I felt closer to her after that. I recognized my mistake, she recognized her mistake, and we bonded over it, really. So let's make this concrete. Observation. She decided to go to a work event. She changed her flight. She missed my party. Evaluation. She doesn't value our friendship. She chose the work event over my party. I'll give you another few examples. Observation. He hasn't replied to my message in 3 hours. Evaluation. He's ignoring me. Observation. You have interrupted me 3 times in this conversation. Evaluation. You never listen to me. Observation. There are dirty clothes on the floor. Evaluation. This room looks like a bomb site. Okay, I think you're starting to get the point here. Some of these can be opinion, some of these can be hyperbolic. A lot of them are coming from an emotionally loaded place, and most of them are going to elicit a response from the person you're talking to that is one of defensiveness and pushback. It's not opening a dialogue. It's not helping you connect better with somebody. So an observation is what actually happened, and an evaluation is what we decide it means. So here's what I want to leave you with. This week, if you feel yourself getting frustrated, upset, withdrawn, reactive, whatever comes up for you, I want you to use this phrase, the story I'm telling myself is, and you fill in the blank there. Then try to fact check that story. Now, this works really, really well if you get a message. If you get a text message and you see that and you're pissed off, put it away. Just don't look at it. Come back to it maybe in a couple of hours, maybe the next day, depending on the level of irritation. Because now that is your observation. That cannot be changed, the text message. Reread it, see if it lands the same way. Or give yourself the story I'm telling myself is, and then the truth is this, the text message. It's a little bit harder to do in real life. So the text message is a really great opportunity if that comes up for you. So that was part 1, observations. Up next is going to be part 2, where we'll look at feelings and needs. Stick around for that. If you're into this kind of thing, hit that subscribe button. And if you've been in a situation where the story that you've been telling yourself has created problems for you, drop it in the comments. I'd love to hear about it. I'll see you in the next one.